then finally published in French by a mysterious publisher called Alibec, the Magician of Egypt. The first translation of the Verum Grimoire of Lucifer was by a Dominican Jesuit called Plangier. It has been a cherished source of demonic information amongst Jesuits since the time of the Alumbrados sect, led by Ignatius Loyola, which inspired, in turn, Adam Weishaupt to form his Illuminati Masonic secret society in Bavaria during the 1700s. The Grimoire Verum includes many prayers directed towards Lucifer, and lists a hierarchy of demons which first appeared in a Kabbalistic text called the Mafteha Shelama, which in turn became known as the Book of Light. One of the most powerful techniques for summoning spirits is the sacred magic of Abra Melin, written by Abraham the Jew during the reign of Emperor Sigismund of Germany in 1377. The magical spells were given to Abraham the Jew by an Egyptian called Abra Melin. It gives instructions on how to consecrate a piece of vellum and write upon it the names of angelic planetary spirits. When these names are called out, spirits swarm into the magician's magic circle. This book has been banned in many countries due to catastrophic events which took place in England at the turn of the 20th century. One magician wrote to the Psychic News Journal that after writing on a piece of vellum following the instructions in the Grimoire of Abramelin, his house filled with tangible darkness so intense that it was necessary to light lamps in every room, even on sunny days. In 1927, the Society for Psychical Research received reports of a British magician who accidentally summoned an invisible spirit of such immense power that it eventually manifested itself in full view, taking the form of a devil with serpents for hair.
You robber of life. You author of pain. You corrupter of justice and innocence and youth. You begetter of death.
Uriel Seraphim, Zati Zata,
Zati Zata,
Galatim Galata,
Galatim Galata.
The sacred book of Abramelin instructs the magician on how to summon his own personal guardian angel. This guardian angel is then sent into the astral planes to find spirits which have information which the magician requests. A roadmap of the spirit world is explained, which is based on the Kabbalistic tree of life. The book even describes the process of summoning the spirit of Lucifer, the devil himself. Other demons by the names of Astaroth and Beelzebub can also be summoned using this powerful text. In London, during the 1800s, seances were held at Horniman's Museum by members of the Golden Dawn secret society who adopted many of the techniques directly from the Abramelin text. Bram Stoker, the author of Dracula, and Aleister Crowley the author of the Book of the Law, which in itself was dictated by spirits, both studied the sacred magic book of Abra Melin.
Blood in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Magic.
Picatrix is one of the oldest grimoires and has only recently been translated into English. The Picatrix originates from Arabia. It is one of the primary sources of information about the spirits of planets, otherwise known as angels, and how to contact demons and devils. The Picatrix was translated into Latin in 1256 and studied by King Alfonso. The king eventually bequeathed a third of his kingdoms to the Knights Templar in exchange for bringing to him the Picatrix and other magical grimoires. It was the Picatrix and other magical grimoires which inspired the Knights Templar to launch expeditions and excavate the site of King Solomon's Temple in Jerusalem. This quest became romanticized by Geoffrey of Monmouth in his medieval writings, which codenamed the collection of ancient magical teachings as the Holy Grail. The Picatrix was banned for many centuries because it not only shows you how to summon the spirit of a planet, but then goes on to show you how to implant this spirit into the head of a dead person, which is then animated using further magical spells. The head can then be questioned to give answers. Thus, the spirit of a planet can be summoned to speak through the head of a corpse. The Picatrix contains a recipe which includes the severed head of a freshly dead young man. This head would be placed in a glass vessel and pickled using a large quantity of human blood and several ounces of opium. The vessel would then be sealed and placed underground, and prayers recited to conjure a spirit to take up residence in the head of the corpse. These magically infused heads were prized possessions amongst the magicians employed by the royal elite of the Middle Ages. These heads became known as Baphomets. Often the head would be placed in ornate silver caskets, rather like religious relics, and questioned during elaborate magical ceremonies. During the heresy trials of the Knights Templar, initiates confessed that Baphomet heads were used to divine information at Templar strongholds in Paris, London, and in the south of France.